Alright, now that I've created the category two-dimensional kinematics, I want to create a test for that. So up in here I have assign tests, question banks, and create a new test. If I already have two-dimensional questions created and I want to assign it, all I have to do is hit the question bank. And then from there I can pick questions. I can pick them by type and I can pick them by category. Okay? I can even do a search, but the search isn't all that functional. I find that it's much easier to find it via category or by type than anywhere in any other way. Okay, so those are options that you have, and that kind of stresses the point of creating categories. If you have a category called two-dimension, it makes your search easier for questions that relate to two-dimension. Okay, but as it stands, I have no two-dimensional kinematic questions, so I'm going to create questions. And how to do that is I'm going to hit create a new test. Okay, it's going to ask for a test name, and I'm going to call that 2D kinematics, and I'm going to call it, that's the first test, and then I'm going to say it belongs part of 2D kinematics. So I went over here under category and I said 2D kinematics. That way every test question I create goes into the category two-dimensional kinematics. And then now I click on add new test. Okay, well, it gives me two choices. I can add questions, or I can choose from existing questions from a test banklet, or I can add new questions directly to the test and to my test banklet. So what I'm going to do, hitting view options, there are my choices. Adding existing, entering new. Okay, so I'm going to click on entering new, and it immediately takes me to my choices of types of questions: multiple choice, multiple response, true false, free text, punctuation, and essay. Okay, you can see a breakdown of what exactly is in there. Now, a word of warning, essay is not graded. If you put in an essay question, you will have to go in and grade that manually, which is okay. You're still not bringing home all that paper that you normally would be, but it simply doesn't have the capabilities of grading an essay question. Multiple choice, multiple response, true, false, free text, and punctuation, though, are all graded. So those are all graded tests. You set up what the correct answer is, and it grades it accordingly. Okay, so I'm going to click on multiple choice. That's a fairly common test question. So I'm just going to click there, and now it opens up a new window. The first window right here should say question. All you're going to do is you're going to write your question in here, and then the choices below it are your possible answers. Okay, so you have up to choice E, I guess. So you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possible answers. The old version of Classmarker had up to, I believe it was 8 possible answers, which was kind of interesting. But anyway, all you do is you simply type in your test questions, and then you type in all the possible answers that could be for that test question. Okay? Then you determine which question is the correct one by just simply clicking that button at the top. So this question, blah, 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 the correct answer is EWT, which was answer A. Now, it doesn't always mean that answer A is going to be the first question. There are ways in which I can randomize the choices, and we'll get to that later. But that's how you create a test question. Now, let's say I don't want to create a multiple choice, but I want to create a multiple response. Now, multiple response looks almost identical to multiple choice, except I can click on more than one possible answer. So if it's one that has 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 5, you just simply click on the correct answers, possible correct answers for that question. Okay? And then it gives you the opportunity to preview that question. Okay? Cool. And as you can also see, there are some other options here, like you can introduce a picture. You can introduce a YouTube video. These are all, here's your question, it's a YouTube video. And it could be simply you shooting a video of you talking about a question. So for kids that have a hard time reading, you could simply shoot a YouTube video and say, all right, this is what this is the question I want to answer. Now the problem with YouTube videos, obviously, is that the network or the district blocks YouTube. So it's not really that great of a choice if you're having kids taking it in class or at school. If they're taking it at home, there shouldn't be a problem. Okay? Then you have links and other equations that you can use. I mean, obviously, it's all here, all that you really need. And then they have a list of symbols that you can insert into your test question. Okay? So that's what multiple choice, multiple response, true, false, same principle. Ask a question, click on the right answer. Free text. Free text is basically filling in the blank. Write your question, leave your blank, and then put in the possible correct answers. Now be careful with free text. I suggest that it's nothing more than a phrase. If it's more than that, then the kid has an opportunity to get it wrong, even though they've given the correct answer. So let's say you wanted to say that the correct answer is that Grant is buried at Grant's tomb. You have to put in all possible ways of expressing Grant is buried at Grant's tomb in these boxes. Okay? So you have to make it short. So one-word answers, two-word answers, or a phrase seems to be the best choice for free text. Punctuation is something that I normally don't use, but you can type in the incorrect and then the correct. Okay, it just works that way. And then essay just asks you to put in a question. Okay? And then they'll give a large box for the kid to respond in. And once again, essay is not graded. Cool?